Senator King, I understand you are yielding back your time. Is that correct? I've been misinformed. Senator King.
Are you trying to tell me something, Mr. Chair? Admiral Richards, first I want to appreciate the fact that apparently at your urging, naval intelligence was not able to find my senior thesis on nuclear deterrence. So just let's keep it that way. Extended deterrence, we've touched on it, but here's my concern. There's a tremendous emphasis in the national security strategy on burden sharing, appropriately, to have our allies meet their responsibilities. The problem is when burden sharing sort of moves over into undermining our allies' confidence in our nuclear umbrella, the result is going to be, as I think you said, Admiral, our allies, particularly in Asia, Japan, South Korea, thinking about their own development of a nuclear deterrent. Ambassador, this strikes me as a very serious issue at this particular moment, that burden sharing is fine, percentage of GDP is fine, but when it intimates a withdrawal of extended deterrence, or the nuclear umbrella so-called, it invites proliferation to currently non-nuclear states.
Senator, it has been my concern that thus far the administration has emphasized with our allies that they will be responsible for their conventional defense. In Europe, particularly, the United States paying more attention to the Indo-Pacific now. But at the same time, the Secretary of War has stated that the United States will continue to extend the nuclear deterrent to our allies. But the fact that we are not seeing the administration really articulate this policy at a high level, neither the national security strategy nor the national defense strategy addresses it. So it is, in my view, raising a lot of questions among our allies. Do they need to think about extending nuclear deterrence themselves, and how would they go about that? Is it the UK and France, as the other nuclear weapon states under the NPT, and the other nuclear weapon states in NATO, who would play that role? How exactly would they go about it? And that's where the questions arise. You're right, Admiral Richard is right. There is no active announcement yet from any NATO ally, but there are many, I would say, debates and discussions that have surprised us among our NATO allies.
And part of the essence of deterrence, whether it's ordinary deterrence or extended deterrence, is communication. The adversary, and in this case the allies, have to understand that this is, in fact, our policy that we will abide by. Here's the next step that really worries me. The more nuclear states there are, the more nuclear materials there are, the more nuclear technology there is. My nightmare is a terrorist organization getting a hold of a nuclear weapon in the hold of a tramp steamer on its way across the South Atlantic to the port of Miami or New York. Deterrence doesn't work with people who have no capital city at risk and who don't care about dying. Admiral, give me your thoughts about deterrence in the world of potential nuclear capacity in terrorist hands, particularly in the age of AI, when you can accelerate technical development extraordinarily.
Senator, first, I applaud your leadership in a number of areas here, including your question in nuclear command and control in particular. To go back to your first question, right, the National Defense Strategy does talk about, in a number of areas, critical contributions that we will make to our allies even as they carry an additional burden. I would think that our nuclear deterrent and extended deterrent guarantees would be at the top of the critical contribution that we will be making to those allies.
I just wish that was being made more clear, that's all, because it's only, the word extended deterrence only appears once in the document. Burden sharing appears 10 or 15 times.
My experience in terms of what causes allies apprehension, particularly in the Asia-Pacific, has to do more with our capabilities, and in particular our lack of theater systems available in the Indo-Pacific and our modest contribution to NATO with the dual-capable aircraft. That is of greater concern than any of the other aspects of this that we're talking about. And to your question to me directly, because that has long been a concern in terms of how do you deter a terrorist or non-nation state organization with a nuclear weapon. And I was always go back to Admiral Haney's comment when he was commander of U.S. Strategic Command, everybody values something. Holding that at risk is the key to deterring them.
I think this is a topic that requires and suggests further discussion and analysis, because the whole, as you all have testified, our whole basis of our national defense strategy for 80 years has been deterrence. How does that apply to people who conventional deterrence does not seem to be necessarily an effective tactic? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would love to talk about deterrence in cyberspace, but we'll save that for another time.
Thank you very much, Senator King. What grade did you get on your college paper?
That's classified,